there folks, it's Brittany Jackson from Learning Technologies, and today we're going to go ahead and learn how to use iMovie on your iPad a little bit. So first you have to go out and find iMovie, and for me I've put it under Media and iMovie, but you might have it somewhere else. You might have to go into the App Store and download it. It's a free download though, so make sure that you go to it. But here is the iMovie app and what it looks like for the icon. And if I tap that, it's going to take me into projects. So right now I don't have any additional projects. I haven't started anything on my iPad specifically. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to choose Create a Project. So now I'm going to click on Movie. And here I can see different moments. I can see different videos I've created. And if I click on video up here, just so I'm looking only at the videos I've recently done, I now get this list of videos, and I'm going to go ahead and choose, we'll just go ahead and choose this one here. And so here, I've tapped on it, you see it's yellow, and now we've got this check mark and this play button. The play will play it for you so you can see what the video is, make sure you're grabbing the right one. But the check mark will now allow you to create your movie. So you can come down here, choose Create Movie, and so here you'll see it has started to create the movie, and you want to click on Edit. It may take you directly into the edit mode too. That's a possibility. I've had it do that for me. So I'm going to scroll in here. I can see that this is the video that I wanted to pull, so I'm going to pull this all the way over here so we can see the start. And here you can, if you want to edit out the first part of this clip, make sure you click on the little clip itself, and you can now split your video. You can you now have this whole menu of options down here across the bottom. So I wanted to actually cut to that point where that white line is, and because it's at the start, move it right about here, because it's at the start of the video, I can go ahead and just grab that little yellow bar and take it about where I wanted it, which was right about there. So now I've cut off that first part of the video. So if you want to leave a few seconds of you waiting to talk, you can go ahead and cut that out if you want to when you're creating your video. Now I want to get rid of this first whole little section here. So I'm going to click on that again, and I'm going to move it right about there. So now you can see again, we've got the split option down here. I'm going to go ahead and hit that split. And now you see I've got two separate videos. Now if you played them together, they would run together and it would sound just like normal. There would be no pause in between. This little bar here indicates that you've now got two different clips, and it's just a little transition between them. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that first part because I didn't want it. So over here, down in the bottom corner down here on the right, you've got the delete option. So we go ahead and click that. Now that piece has been deleted. If you wanted to take that piece and move it, you could have done that as well. So I'll go ahead and cut off a little bit more here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit right there, hit that split button again. And now if I wanted to, I could grab that and move it. So now I'm dropping it where I want it, which is right there at the end. So now if we scroll all the way to the end, I'm going to scroll that pretty quickly because we just need to get to the end. We can see here that here was the end of the clip, the original clip, and now here's that clip that I just dropped in there. So you can move things around if you want to. I'm going to scroll back all the way to the start here, and I'm going to highlight that again. You can duplicate that particular clip if you want it to play again somewhere else in the video. You can do that. You would just click this duplicate button here. You can change the speed of your clip. So if you want it to go a little bit faster or a little bit slower down here, you can click and make that decision. And then down here you also have the volume button. If for some reason I'm talking quietly and I'm not quite hearing it, I can move that up to about 400%, 500%. And if I want to put a title slide at the start, I can go ahead and do that. Now, normally what you want, if you don't want that to stay on the whole clip that you've got here, so this clip that you saw is really long, I only want it on the first like 5 seconds or something. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over here. And I'm actually going to go back out to Actions, and I'm going to click Split again, because I only want it on this one. So now I'll go over here to Titles, and you can choose from any of these options down here. I'm just going to choose Standard because it's just easier. So I've highlighted it down here, and you now see the text show up on my screen. And if I tap on the text, I can now change it. So this is a test. And I can change the little one, so I'm gonna go ahead and do yes, it is. And so now you'll see, if we play this, you will now see that that text is there and now it's gone. So it'll stay on that clip for as long as you're in that clip. So if you only want it for 5 seconds, split your clip, and again, that's not gonna mess up anything in terms of what they're hearing. So that way it's not on the whole time. If you want it on the whole time, definitely keep it in. So I'm going to click here, and again, we've got the title slides down here. We've got filters that you can choose. You can change what color it is, just like you would in a social media app. You've got those options as well. I typically say none because I want it to be what I'm doing here. So you also, if we go back to Actions, you have this option of detaching the audio. I would recommend, if you want to detach the audio, that you do so for each clip or at the start of your video. If you detach it first before you've changed the clips here, or split your clips, it will actually detach the audio for the whole thing, and it could be that your audio keeps going when you go to cut something, but you're now off sync with your video and the speaking. So keep that in mind when you're detaching the audio, but detaching the audio is really great if you want to delete it, you want to actually just put music or something along those lines, you can do that by detaching the audio. I'm going to click this little clip here to show you. I'm going to click again this detach audio button right here. And I'm going to click that, and now we see the audio. You can, okay, now I've detached this audio. I could go ahead and delete that audio, which I'm going to do by hitting that delete button down in the bottom right. So now this particular clip does not have any audio associated with it. I now have the option of going over here, choosing this little microphone, and recording myself over that clip again. So I could go back in, if I didn't like how I said something, I could go back in, delete out the audio, come in, and record what I wanted over that. I would just have to hit the record button. It would record it until it was done. I hit cancel, or I hit cancel if I don't want to record anymore. But if I go ahead, I'm going to hit record, and it's going to count you down. And here I am just testing this out. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click, I was going to click stop, which I didn't get to do, but I'm going to click accept. And now you're going to see that this is going to overlap a little bit with this clip. I don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the little record button, and sometimes it's a little finicky, so that's the hard part. I'm just going to narrow it down to be like right in line with that particular clip. So I'm going to do that. So now this particular recording will happen just with that piece of the clip, and then you'll go into your next. Now, keep in mind that may have cut off some of the tech or some of the information you may want to include. So when you're doing this, just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and click delete for that recording because I actually instead want to include music. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click that little add button. And so here you can see that you could bring in other video clips and other things along those lines for media purposes. And down here you can click audio. And now you've got access to your soundtracks that are on your, or your My Music, which is on what's on your that you've downloaded for yourself. Sound effects, so if I click on sound effects, we've got, alarm, applause, we've got a booing crowd, so if you want to spice up your video for your students a little bit, you can choose booing crowd, or any other one of these. I'm going to click back to audio. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click soundtracks. So anything you see here in white, I've already downloaded. You can download any of these, they're free. I'm going to click, I actually can't keep checking my phone, so it's going to take it a second to download it. And now I can listen to it and see if that's what I really want. That's interesting. Sure, why not? I'll hit the plus sign there. Now it's going to run and it's going to keep the whole thing running throughout. I'm okay with that right now because I actually want it kind of running in the background. And it starts out at the start here. So we're going to play this clip to see where we're at, because we can always keep watching, seeing where we're at with things, but we can always hit play to see if things are what we wanted it to be. So here we go. And here there's actually no sound on there because there was no recorded sound with that particular video. So you hear the music went quieter and it's just hanging out in the background because there was the possibility of there being sound on this clip originally. So if I click on that, I'm going to actually choose detach audio and see there is that little clip there. So if you were hearing something you weren't quite sure, if you detach the audio, you can probably find it. You can also put that put that audio clip down here and choose it to put it in the background. So I'm going to choose, that was quiet. It can go in the background. So now this is the one that's taking primary lead. It's going to be the loudest. So if we go ahead and put it in the background, it's now going to play in the background very quietly. It won't be in the forefront, but I want it back to be kind of the primary thing. So I'm going to click foreground. That's now going to make it the primary music. So now that's in there for me. If I wanted to add different music, I could check any one of these, see what seems to fit the mood of my particular video. So say you want to now record something else that you haven't already recorded. You can click this little camera button over here. And if we click that, it will now bring it up. So I've got my camera facing the other direction. So you can see my computer screen right now. Now I could go over here and I could choose the record button. And if I do that, I'm going to record myself for just a couple seconds here, testing this out. I'm going to hit the stop button over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose use video because I'm going to use that video. And it's going to place it wherever you've got this white cursor. So this white cursor is kind of your marker for a lot of things. So now you can see that it's placed ahead of the rest of the video clips that I have in here. So, again, I don't actually like it, so I'm going to come down to the bottom down here and click delete. The thing to keep in mind over here, if we're going back to the soundtracks, if we come back out here and we go to My Music, make sure that if you're choosing anything that is copyrighted, so any major artist songs, be careful and make sure that you either cite them somehow in the video or don't use it because you don't want that to get out. You don't want to get sued by Kanye or anybody else. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing clips. If it's just for your class, it's probably okay to an extent as long as it's behind, the link is only linked from Moodle where everybody can't access it. It's probably okay, but it's not recommended. And make sure you still cite it because that is still utilizing someone else's work. So now I feel pretty confident in this video. I'm going to go ahead and click out of the audio over here. And now I'm going to come up here to this little gear setting. Here you can see, again, you could do a fade in and a fade out. So if I come down here, I want this. I'm going to come up here, click that gears again. I want it to actually fade in from black. So now if we watch that clip, so if I come down here, so now we see that now it starts out as black and it fades in a little bit there. You can click on that, fade out to black if you want it to fade out to black. So this is mostly if you want transitions a little bit between your particular clips. The other thing you can do over here is click on this little minus sign here, and that tells you how long the transition is. And down here, you suddenly have this whole new option, or menu options, of things that you can do for that little transition piece. So here, the little up and down line there means that there's no transition. It just goes straight into it. You could choose theme, and you could see what happens when you do that. You could come over here and see what happens when you choose theme. Oh, so it started to do something interesting there, but we could slide, so maybe we do this. And now you see the other one slide in there. It could wipe it. So if we do that, you can't quite see that one as easily on this particular clip, but you'd see it if the clips were significantly different. Or you can do a fade. So if we do this, now it faded into that clip. I can also change how long that particular transition is. So it can be half a second, which is what it currently is, 1 second, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So you could give it, if you want it to go a little bit longer, you could click 2 seconds. So now you see it got a little bit bigger. So we're going to do this, and now it takes 2 seconds to do that transition. It's completely up to you what makes the most sense. So now I feel pretty comfortable with those transitions, and now I'm going to say that I'm done with all of this. So I'm going to come up here to this done button, and now I see I'm back to that My Movie screen. If you want to change the title of that, if you just click on My Movie, you can change the title. I'm going to choose it to Tester, because why not? I'm going to hit Enter, and then I'm going to come down here. So now down across this bottom, if I want to delete this entirely, I'd click the trash can. If I want to play it, I would click that little play button down there so I could kind of watch it in real time. So if I want to upload it to YouTube, I need to make sure that my account is attached here, and it'll walk you through those steps. But you can click down here and you can click all the different options you have available. So you could airdrop this to another device. You could plop it into Notability, upload it to Facebook. Here I've got the YouTube option. This is where you'd upload it to YouTube on your account. You could make a copy. You could save the video, or you could just save it as a file. Any one of those are possibilities for you. Again, I would recommend uploading your videos to YouTube, make them unlisted. That way not everybody can find them, and you can share the link with your course if that's what you're trying to do. And then if I wanted to go back in, I had to leave and I couldn't finish it, I can come back down here and click the Edit button. And now I'm back into that same screen that I was at before. So I can always come back in here, change things, do whatever I want to do, and then go back out, click Done, and then upload to wherever I want it to go. So that is how to use iMovie. Again, this is only on your iPad. This is not utilizing it on your computer. If you have a MacBook, you should have iMovie installed, or you should be able to install iMovie for free. If you are using a desktop or a laptop that's a PC, it may not, you will have to download probably another app that's similar or another program that's similar, and we can help you find similar apps and walk you through those if that's what you'd like to do. The iPad is just the easiest way, I think, to go through. I sometimes do it on my MacBook. It just depends on the day and what I feel like I need to do. There's slightly more functionality on the iPad or on the MacBook version, but not a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. This one should get you through with just about everything that you want to do. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Learning Technologies. We're here to help you, and I hope that you enjoyed this fun little tutorial about learning iMovie. Have a great day.